Good morning. I am Tessa-Marie and welcome to the Morning Blessings. How are you feeling today? It is a chilly one here in Toronto. It is 4 degrees Fahrenheit, 17 degrees Celsius. So yes, it's a chilly morning. And we have a really updated topic today. It is called addiction. Hi Lisa, how are you feeling this morning? It's cold. It's 4 degrees Fahrenheit, your degrees. And it's high stays good morning, and it is minus 17 Celsius. And it has a wind. So yeah, it's a cold day. So how are you guys feeling today? Happy Wednesday. Yeah, happy cold Wednesday. Stacy and Lisa are here. How are you guys feeling today? Guess what? We have a topic. And of course, when we hear the word addiction, we always think of drugs. But it's not going to be about drugs today. It's going to be about addictions. There are various types of addictions, but the most common of them, of course, is always, hi Nancy, how are you today? Are you warmer today than yesterday? I have my golden triangle tea. I will end up looking like a golden triangle one day. See the color? Good morning, Colleen. How are you feeling this morning? Cold enough for you? Happy Wednesday. I'm feeling amazing. That's great. Stacy. Hi, Marina. How are you feeling this morning? Warm? Hi, Angie. Still waiting for your note. How are you feeling today, guys? Anyway, let's get the show on the road. The topic is addiction. What are we addicted to? How do we get addicted? Whatever it is we do, and we can't seem to stop doing it, no matter what it does to us or to those around us. It's raining cats and dogs. Tessa, that's my favorite sweater. You know, I shouldn't even be wearing this. I'll tell you a little bit story about this. I bought this in 2010. And that was when we went shopping for Kathleen's wedding. And most people wouldn't do that, or people are silly. But I always enjoyed by wearing Nygaard stuff. They were always made well and they fitted well. And this jacket, of course, is timeless because it's a jacket, not a sweater. It just goes to here. And you can wear it in all these colors. I love it with black, and I bring it out every year. But I am famous for that. I have a copy of a Chanel suit I made in '89. I still have it. And the lining has torn off. So that's the only reason I don't wear it. I could redo it because I made it in the first place. So anyway, thank you. Like an act. I know, that is one of the things I liked about Nygaard's design. But anyway, we won't go there, really. So, addiction. That is what I desire to talk about today. And the reason why I'm talking, thank you, Nancy, about, I love that it has all the colors. It does, thanks. Because I realize so many people are now addicted to the TV, the device, and then they fill your head with it, or they call, and you too, you go on and you realize this is enough. This thing is taking me down a drain. And it's all over the world. It's not only us in North America or where you are in Australia, New Zealand. It's everywhere you could possibly think of. Addiction. We are getting addicted to things. It has many comes from trauma. Yeah. But what is the modern day trauma? It's not going to be drugs. I'm not going to talk about that. They've whipped that into shape already. So it's not drugs. It's our other habits that people do not consider an addiction. So let us look at a few of them. Excess weight if you're eating. The constant looking to find love, finding it halfway, not good enough, dumping it, pick up another one and go. I just have to have this person in my life somewhere. Good morning, Roslyn. How are you feeling this morning? And what you do, the same things over and over, and you cannot think and stop. We can become addicted to reading. You can get addicted to doing something without ever stopping or realizing that it is affecting you that way. But the one I really want to talk about is our addiction to negative news or negative things, or just people just talking, and in some cases we fall in it and we believe it, and we do not realize that the mind that created it is the mind of a storyteller. All minds can tell stories, and we can lead our mind to tell stories that are very, very depressing. And sometimes we can lead our mind to tell stories that are fun. Hi, Sue. How are you feeling this morning? So when the addiction hits us, we are not always sure. We are lucky that we are older generation. This younger generation is in real trouble, you think? When the addiction hits us, sometimes we don't see it. We don't even recognize it because we are so close to the forest we cannot see the trees. One of the things that contributes to addiction is loneliness, being alone, always having, I'm glad you're feeling better, Sue, always having to be by yourself. How can we avoid that? People who live alone and do not have other things happening in their life, addiction can settle in. And it will take a long time before we realize that that person needs help. And addiction wants you alone. Addiction does not want you when you have friends. That is the real thing about addiction. It is how it gets you. So make sure that the people you know, that you contact them, laugh with them, and let them know that they're never alone, because that is the key to avoiding addiction. If you are alone and your friends are alone and you all stay alone, or the acquaintances are alone and you all everybody leave each other alone, then guess what? Everybody has the opportunity to choose an addiction. And when you get into an addiction, you forget that you, the human, needs some care. You might forget to eat, to bathe. You never sleep. You haven't made your bed. Everything is a total mess. And you're just rolling in it over and over again. And you're saturating every nerve and sinew with what it is that has dragged you. It's not always alcohol. It's not always cigarette smoking. It's not always drugs, other drugs. Sometimes, as I said, it could be sex. It could be, just shopping, going to the stores. And hi, Loretta, long time no see. How are you feeling this morning? Raining in Dominica? It could be shopping. And we, of course, know it's eating. So the thing to avoid addiction is to help others. And because you are stepping out to help others, not because they're addicted, but realize that you are putting all of you into them. You are the one making the call. You are the one sending the note. You are the one dropping by on a good day. You're the one giving something nice. Good morning, sister. How are you feeling this morning? All of that. That doesn't mean that you have to get that back from them, because it's not everybody that has a heart of flesh. Some people's heart are so tight because they are so afraid to reciprocate, to pick up the phone, to send a note, that no longer respects the elders, communities. You think? We cannot wait to put them in a hole in a house and go see them when the sky is blue. Good morning, Yuko. And we are already creating children that are not being involved with others. We are already creating this. And it seems as if it's okay. I have a neighbor, a young family next door. They must have moved in maybe about 10 years ago. And another family that moved diagonally across from them. Well, diagonally means across. One day he came up to me and he said to me, I didn't know there were children living next door to you. He said, I saw them for the first time and they were just going into the car. I said, oh yeah, they've been there for about a few years. Oh, I should maybe get to know them so I can, spend time with my son. He has a little boy that's as old as Kylie. And he tried, and he just met a stone wall. The father and the mother said, we do not, the father actually told him, no, we do not allow them to assimilate with people and do those things. They have homework, they have stuff to do. And they're like 10 and 8, something like that. So anyway, I guess that didn't happen. But you see them only when they go out. The father has built a fence. And it's illegal in Canada to build a fence over higher than 6 feet. But he built it just in a certain area of mine at 7 feet. And I like that. So I said, knock yourself out. But what he has done, he's built a fence that encloses, and in that backyard, which is a lot smaller than mine, he has every considerable thing. To the point, on Halloween, they would put the candy on the step, and then they would be in the backyard with lights on. They don't believe, they don't participate. So what are they creating? The world tells us all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. So everybody chooses to raise their kids how they do, but we have to remember we are not raising children for ourselves. We are raising them for the world. We have to make them understand they're all addicted to their devices. Yeah, that's where I'm going. They are on their devices all the time. I remember my kids would be, they don't even go there, playing hockey with the other kids or on their, rollerblades, skateboards, all of these things. You couldn't keep up with the things they were doing. They would come in just to eat and go right back again. And they would be so bold, my three, they would bring who they're playing with to eat. So I had to feed everybody. But they don't, you don't see that. You know that, have you guys know that word? When the kids are playing in the street and they go car, one person goes car, so they can all move. I have never seen that again. Since about 2 generations, 20 years now. You don't see the kids playing on the street. That man that asked for the playing of the kids, he plays with his son in no matter what weather he's out there. He has 2 boys. So the addiction we are creating is for them to be by themselves. If they have like a thing to learn, or they're involved in a particular sport, that's all they get. What happens though, at the end of that journey, something happens, and that's where trouble starts. And they cannot do this. They need a balance. And they need to learn to play with the people in their neighborhood. If you only play with those that do the same thing as you, what happens when you cannot do it with them anymore? We do not think. And don't tell me that I have so much money, that's what somebody said, that my kids will never, ever be in want. Money only allows you to have experiences that you would not have if you didn't have it. It does not give you balance, social skills, interaction. You live in a world. So we are creating a bunch of addicts, being by themselves addicts. That's what we're creating as grandparents and parents. Creating these people that do not assimilate or play or involve with others. And they keep their head down. And that's all they do. But what we have now to change and to show the younger generation is to how we treat each other. How we communicate with each other. Let them know of family members. Let them know that you have a sister over here, a brother over here, an aunt over there, a cousin. This person is your cousin. That's my first cousin, is your cousin. Let them know that these people are part of their group, so that they do not stand alone, because life has a funny way of creating little kinds of bumps. There's a saying that they use a lot in the Caribbean: man proposes and God disposes. We do not know what their journey is going to be like. We need to find balance because we are in an addictive society right now. We have teams, we have sides, we have beliefs, and there is no room for another. And we do not make room, and we have no concession. And we use words that are detrimental to our own health about people we do not know because we are so mean. And we have to stop that. We are just teaching the new generation how to be. How can you despise someone? Hello, Betty. Good morning. How are you feeling this morning? So much that you do not know the person. But when you think or talk about them, your blood curdles. Guess what? Who's going to have the stroke? You or them? So we need to be careful, very, very careful with our opinions of others because it doesn't affect them. And the addicted personality that is so strong that you cannot see the sun because of the cloud you have decided to put over it. It's not fair because you have to connect with those people. Your friend isn't doing well. Okay, it's all her fault. It's all his fault. But maybe they didn't know better. So you that can see the difference, you cannot fix them by talking to them. You have to show them that you care. Because there's somebody somewhere that has to care for somebody else. When you teach somebody, by taking care of you, watching your words, and you have common sense, man. You should know when something is right or when something is true or when something is not true. But you can't fix people. So you have to go on and you go in and do, as I said, do not expect that the care and the thoughts and the attitude you put towards somebody else to keep them from being lonely and addictive to being lonely, that they're going to do the same for somebody else. So there are all kinds of addiction. There are religious addiction. There's no room for anything else. That's what's going on. That's what my church says. That's what my pastor says. That's what my politician said. That's what my party said. That's what my doctor. I just love that one though. The addiction to the doctor without realizing. Question that doctor. Ask more questions. There are all kinds of addictions. Addictions to the doctor because my doctor knows the answer. No, but sometimes if you just stop and think, you will maybe feel, maybe you should not eat this. That's why you got the bloody headache that he's giving you a tablet for. And that's 20 years later, you find that tablet contributes to high blood pressure. Addiction without even knowing. My friend was taking something, I forgot the name, Motrin something, for over 20 years. And one day the doctor must have been in the zone that day and said, that high blood pressure is moving. What do you take? And somewhere she remembered, or she takes it every day for over 20 years. Oh, that contributes to high blood pressure. She was addicted to a doctor that's dead. Dr. Morris, whatever his name was, is dead. And she's still following that prescription. He's prescribing from the grave. Addiction, it comes, you see what I mean? I'm not talking only about that though, but the thought, a great doctor is now dead. So keep saying that is not going to make it better. Medicine and stuff, they change, they evolve, they get better, they do things with them. So you have to do that. Are you addicted to talking about your pain and doing nothing about it? That's another kind of addiction. As I said, addiction likes you alone. When you are alone, it wants you alone. This is how it gets you. So make sure that you are not alone and make sure that the people you know are neither alone. Include them in it. And if you find yourself going down the rabbit hole of being constantly doing the same thing and do not even have the comprehension to say you want a different result, you're in trouble. When you take it to bed with you, you're in trouble. When you take that thing and you carry it all over with you, everywhere you go, where you see somebody that you know that resembles this person, and right away you're angry. You're angry about something you cannot control. You're addicted to anger. Scrooge was, but he chose. There was a light, a tiny crack, and the light came through. So you too have to look at what we all have to look at, what we're addicted to. We need to learn to stop when we realize we're going down the rabbit hole of addiction in gossiping. Oh, tell me, Tessa-Marie, and I want to use the F word every time somebody asks me that question about somebody we both know. Don't ask me about them. You know, what I know I keep for myself. You go and find it out yourself. They're addicted to gossiping. And so you see, addiction just is wild. And when I realized my friend was addicted to listening to nonsense, but somebody corrected me yesterday. I had a note from Nancy. I can't remember all of it, Nancy, but you sent me a note yesterday. I don't know what we were chatting about, but you said, and you listed like 7 things that you could be doing instead of finding yourself listening and watching those things on TV or whatever. And I liked it. And I told you, I said, Nancy, did you bring your whole house, your entire house to Florida? I'm going to do some sewing, some reading. I'm going to meditate in the greenhouse. I'm going to do this. And then my answer to her, what, did you bring the entire house with you to Florida? She got smarter than my friend. And she realized, all I do is take this in. And it's training me. It's not making me, I'm fooling myself with food I do not really, truly enjoy having. And she decided, I'm going to go for a walk and go, what? You had so many things. I looked at it and I thought, it's so easy to get addicted to the world situation that we cannot change. And when we have the opportunity to change, some of us sit it out. The most powerful tool you have, if you do not like what's happening in your life today, in your world, in your government, is that X. And if you did it and you're happy with it, then fine. That's good. You did your share. But if you chose to sit it out, you have just sit out women that died for you to have the right to do that. So we have to change. You cannot change it once you've done it. And you cannot turn on the TV to look at the news without finding out all of these horrible, horrible things. But there was a man, what is his name? I loved his voice. What's Tom Brokaw? I think it was, I always bring more than I can do. Today it's raining, so I think I can do great. When they had the Olympics in the Western provinces, Alberta or Winnipeg, one of the colder ones, he talked about what Canada has done. And again, everybody's addicted to what's coming out from the United States at Canada. But if you know your history and you can just breathe a little, say it's silly, because when 9/11 hit, 7,000 flights landed in Canada, 7,000. When the Shah of Iran was deposed, for 444 days, the Canadian embassy in Tehran sheltered U.S. people and gave them passports as Canadians to get them out of the country. our ambassador became a CIA spy for a whole year and a half. So there is a lot more than that. Both countries maybe will do things, and we have a habit, they sneeze and we catch the cold. There is a show that if you get the chance to ever watch it, Come From Away, that is what happened on 9/11. And of course, there are a lot more. What do you call it? The fire in California, the helicopter that got hit by the drone said Quebec on it. You know how far Quebec is from California? But there they were. So we have to realize, get off that addiction and stop looking at that shit. And let them do it. They'll figure it out. And when you get a chance, if you do not like it and the opportunity come, break the addiction you have to this nonsense. Because what we do not do now, we will pay for it later. So share your knowledge. Let someone know. This is what they did. They're not that bad. And there's no subsidy to Canada. Our dollar floats at below 70 cents. Therefore, you buy more for your money. Simple as that. You have 11 times the population. So you're going to need more from us than we need from you. That's just how it is. It's not, you shouldn't be mean about it. On either side. Just leave it alone. Because it will work out. But you have to play your part. And if you do not, what you're experiencing today is because either you made the choice or somebody else made choices for you. That's just how it is. Because both, it's not those puppets that are going to hurt. It's not the puppets that are going to hurt. Are the others. And this is not the time of Marie Antoinette where you can say, let them eat cake. There's no bread, there's no cake. We're not that stupid. So we need to know what we're doing with this addiction on politics and all these negative things. And do not stay alone with your iPad and your iPhone and your TV on it. You will not get up to even go pee. And you might be peeing on you as you're going to the bathroom because you just cannot wait to hear it. So all kinds of, hi Deborah, long time no see, how are you feeling? All kinds of addictions are wrong. So when you hear the word addiction, look at it. Because it's not only fentanyl and all of this and all of that. There are all kinds of addiction. And if you pass your addictive personality and stuff to another one, you're responsible. And when you do and help others that are being addicted and you pull them back, remember, do not leave them lonely. If you have family, your older family, young family that are sick or sitting at home, do not have a job, and they're addicted to those things, that is what addiction wants. Addiction wants you alone. That is how it gets into you. And therefore, it is best to get out and just talk to the neighbor now and again. Or just dance. Put on music instead of that. Call that friend and say, hey, what are you doing? Oh, I'm here watching this show. No, you shouldn't. Don't do that. Because they'll just say, what do you want me to do? Don't say that. Say something. Let's go to lunch. Break the spell. And when you go to lunch and you pay for lunch, do not expect them to give it back to you. Just do it so that you feel better. Because then you can look back and you can say, hey, I spoke to my friend today and we spoke about something. Let's talk about spring. Go to the spring and flower show. They're starting soon. Get out of sitting in front of that TV and encourage others to do that, because Nancy gave me the answer to this thing. And this topic came to me on the 5th of this month, the 5th. And you want to know where I got it? I'm closing with telling you how I got it. You guys all know about Matthew Perry, right? Died of a drug addiction. He has a half-sister named Karen Morrison, Keith Morrison's daughter. They share the same mother. And she was on a show, and these were her words. Addiction wants you alone. This is how it gets you. That's all she said. And then she took a deep breath and emotional feelings in her face. And she said, there are all kinds of addiction. All kinds. But it still needs you alone. And that is what opened my mind, and I wrote it out. Because that is how I can feed you. Then yesterday, in talking to Nancy, she expressed how she was feeling because of all the news and stuff and snippets and snappets that we hear. And when she said that to me, what she was going to do, instead of doing that, I didn't know when I would open this page this morning that this is what I would find. So thank you for listening to me. I know this was frazzle and razzle, and it wasn't fun to listen to, but I got it off my chest. I did my best. So I'll see what we have for tomorrow. And maybe many of you do not like it, but there are all kinds of addiction. It's not only drug. News today is so toxic and so much misinformation and propaganda that is overwhelming, you think. I'm trying to expose my news mental feed to 10 minutes a day. I'm giving up turn on the TV for more than 10 minutes. I only go in to listen to the weather. I'm feeling blessed. Thanks, Deborah. That's nice to hear. The last U.S. election has put the world on pins and needles. What can we do? Simplicity in life is best. We need to get back to that. Just do small things. Go crochet or knit something. I always bring more than I can do. Like today, it's raining, so I have things I can do. Like sewing. Hi, Amma. Our Western medical system is another podcast. Seriously in trouble, you think? Shopping and ordering unnecessary overspending and congesting the space. This is so amazing. Last night, I was talking to my daughter about addiction. Yeah, it comes in all different ways. Kids are so addicted that parents can't take away their devices anymore. And they say, you have a timeout. They never heard of a slap out. Kids are so any player with their technology. It's true, you know. But in reality, this is the parents' fault. But it's true, though. We have to learn to treat these kids better than that. I understand that's when my neighbors don't talk to each other. Growing up, we were all outside talking with each other's neighbors. It's true. We used to have a street barbecue. We used to kind of just close the street. And everybody knew we were going to have a street barbecue. I didn't even hear them playing when I visited you this summertime. You see? Yeah, it's true. They don't play. They're making them, they want to make them little geniuses. We also live in a society that no longer respects the elders. Community gone. Community needs to come back. Addiction can be an impulsive choice. It could be, Stacy said. It's true. Lonely is because become an epidemic. The world has more people and more loneliness. It's the connection. Put them in the nursing home. We're lucky that we are older generation. This younger generation is in real trouble. I'm hoping they can get fixed. Remember the hippies? We are no longer hippies, right? Remember Woodstock? We're no longer there. So yeah, it can get fixed. So thank you everybody for coming. And let me say hello to Sue and Loretta and Betty and Juliana and Stacy, Yuko, and Rosalind, Marina, Lisa, Colleen, Dawn, Angie, and Deborah. Guys, it's an amazing morning. Sorry, I feel bad doing this to you guys. But I don't know. I don't make the decision all the time. Have a wonderful day. And keep warm. It's 4 degrees here, Fahrenheit, for you Fahrenheit people. And for us, it is minus 17 Celsius. So it's cold. So have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. It's Thursday, and I am going to do my YouTube video at noon on StreamYard. Hi, Yuko. I sorted it out. I figured it out. So I'm going to attempt it. If you're interested to join me, if you can, I don't know. They said you need to send them a link. I don't know. So I'm just going to go try. How to keep the brain going, eh? It's one of the pillars of prosperity, mental prosperity. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.